Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Isaac from Guns for Everyone. I have an update video on the Nexbelt. If you don't know, I had a Nexbelt before, or I still have one, but I did a video a little while ago about how this thing failed, and I have some updates on that as well as some more information about other gear. Before I do that, though, just thought it'd be nice to read off some donors to the free concealed carry classes that we've had in the last month. This is not a complete list. This does not include cash donations. It doesn't include Venmo or Cash App or other ways. This is people who donated even before the class started. So these are the gutsy people who took a risk and showed up and provided us with some value even before we started. So I'm just going to read off some names here, and I feel like uh, it's important to acknowledge the people who make all of this possible, everything that we've done for the last 12 years. So Joel B, Sean O, Andrea J, Chris J, Andrew M, Ward, Alex M, Ken W, Shawnee, Haver, Constantine, Keith, James, Robert T, Renee E, Jan, Shelby, Martha, ENG, Zubin, Hugo, Ken N, Chris F, Chad C, Jacqueline, Amanda E, Scott M, Sam J, Melissa C, David S, Stephen V, I can't read my own handwriting, Eric E, Rami, Ruben, Sergio multiple times, thank you, Cortland, Mark W, Adam C, Jacqueline M, Kurt N, Matt E, Craig S, Kevin G, Tasha, Sergio R, different Sergio, Angela H, David C, Patsy B, Laura S, Ethan B, Paul G, Teddy K, Anna R, Vanessa A, Clayton K, Joel K, Ricardo A, Patrick K, Clayton, Joel, and Patrick apparently all came together. Rose C, Garo Proto, I don't know how to say that. Anthony A, Lori C, John C, Carla O, Sean M, Shazad, Lauren L, Angela R, Armani E, Brianna B, Ethan R, Xavier, Robin M, Robert T, April H, Amy B, Bo B, Laura B, Zach P, and Savannah. Appreciate all you guys, and that's not to leave out the people who do donate in the class. I appreciate that. Edgar appreciates that. It's what's made this possible for 12 years, and we wouldn't be here without you. So, all right, moving on. So, some background. I bought this Nexbelt 4 or 5 years ago. I honestly can't remember. I'm going to go ahead and say 4 years ago, just to be extra harsh on Nexbelt. And a couple months ago, I went to put it on, and the ratchet system broke. If you don't know how a Nexbelt works, it is a ratchet system, and you put the end in, and you can tighten it down as much as you want. And then when you take it off, you lift up this little lever, and it comes out. All right, let's start with the bad things. Number one, this part of the belt, the back of the belt, goes through the rear belt loop, I guess you would say. This broke very early on. Now, it didn't interfere with the function of the belt, but it kind of makes me wonder, like, why did this fail so easily? And it didn't just fail in the internal plastic part that gives it rigidity. The stitching actually started to fail over time and started to separate. Again, it never interfered with the function of the belt. Another part of the belt started to break, which was around where, I think around where the gun stays on my hip, and this started to fail. This didn't fail as soon and still did not interfere with the function of the belt. When this broke, this part right here did make it difficult to remove the belt. It will still go past that area, but it wants to kind of choke on that, and then getting it off can be kind of difficult. So that was how the belt failed. Now, I wore this every day for 4 years and wore it with a concealed carry handgun every single time. And this thing was incredibly useful. And one of the things I liked about this belt was that it didn't interfere with my normal dress. This is a regular belt. There's nothing special about it except that it is more adjustable and a little bit more rigid than maybe a typical belt would be. Also, cost what a belt should cost. If memory serves, I paid $60 for this at the gun store, so that's not even the cheapest place to buy stuff usually. And $60, 4 years, $15 a year, everyday use. I'd say that's pretty good value. So there's the Nexbelt. By the way, it does still work. It's just now it's gotten to be a pain in the butt to use. So I just want to point that out. Even though it failed, it does still function. When I was deciding how to replace this belt, I started to do a little research and I came across this other belt and I got curious about it and I decided to give it a try. And this is the Hunter Constantine belt. I don't know if it's got a model name on it. Hunter Constantine makes a couple of different models, so I'm sure this has a model name. There's two things that intrigued me about this. One was that it is stretchy. So let's say you're carrying in the appendix position and you bend over. Well, you're basically increasing your waistline when you bend over. And if you have a gun attached to your body when you do that, it and the belt doesn't give at all, it's going to pull that gun tighter against your body, and that can be uncomfortable or even downright painful. So the stretchy element, and also like the Nexbelt, this thing doesn't have any big bulky buckle on it. Some of the concealed carry designed holsters that were very popular in the 2010s had that marine belt. I don't know what it's called. It was like that hook and the piece went in and clicked. And one of the problems with that belt is it doesn't work with most of my clothes. And I got a couple of them, and I didn't like them. Also, they're adjustable, but they're not very adjustable. And that was kind of a pain in the butt. So when I am evaluating gear for myself, whether I'm deciding to buy it or whether I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to continue to use it, my first priority is, does it work? Is it effective? The Nexbelt, very effective. Did a great job. The Hunter Constantine belt, effective. Does a great job. Has a nice rigid section of it. The whole belt's not rigid, just the place where the gun is likely to attach. That part is rigid. And the belt does work. The clasp device does hold the belt, and it doesn't come undone, and it does its job. Is it effective? Yes. Is it efficient? Well, efficiency is doing that job with the least amount of time and resources and effort and energy required. Well, the Nexbelt was very efficient because it was just like using a regular belt, and it was $65. The Hunter Constantine belt is more efficient than some of the other belts I've used, but $125 for this thing. $125. Also, the Nexbelt is basically infinitely adjustable. When I say that, I mean, let's say it's, after Thanksgiving dinner. If I need to let the belt out a few clicks to make the belt fit the way it's supposed to, very simple and easy to do. On this belt, there's an adjustment, but you can't do it while you're wearing the belt. And it's kind of confusing. I mean, I try to believe that I'm not a complete moron. Sometimes I defy that assumption, but there are a number of different directions that this belt needs to go through in order to tighten or loosen. And somebody else complained about this on a YouTube comment, and I was like, how hard could it be to adjust this thing? And then I got it, and I was like, I don't know, this is kind of tricky. And I did figure it out, but the issue is that the next time I go to adjust it, I'm going to have to figure it out again. And I have to take it off in order to adjust it. Now, I do get the stretchiness, so I don't need this to be as adjustable maybe as that belt. But when it comes to doing some of the essential things with the belt, like adjusting it, it's just not that easy to do. The other thing is it's kind of tricky to take this belt off. I mean, I should say undo this belt. When I go to, if I need to go to the bathroom, this seems simple enough, right? This is a canvas little loop here. This is a hook. Hook goes in the loop. But when you're wearing it, it's not necessarily that easy. And when you're in a hurry and maybe only have one hand, which you might think to yourself, why do you only have one hand under your belt? Well, if I'm carrying in the appendix position and I'm getting ready to go to the bathroom, I may have taken the gun and holster off the belt in order to get it out. Now, it doesn't always have to be that way, but I've already run into that problem at least once. So I may only have one hand available when I'm trying to get this undone. With the Nexbelt, this release mechanism, the belt's already got tension on it, so my waist is pulling on it, and if I apply the pressure with one hand, then the belt starts to move, and I can finish taking it out. It's pretty simple. So the other issues with this belt is that I kind of get these two places to decide where to put the hook and loop, a little bit tighter, a little bit looser right here. And that's all right, except if you don't use one of these loops very often, it's really hard to get that loop in there in a way, again, that's efficient. Now, once you use it a little bit, it'll start to have some memory to it, and then it will stay open, but then the other one starts to close, so then you have the same issue. The other thing, too, is I just don't understand how this costs $125. Now, I'm a capitalist, so make your money. I paid for it, it worked, whatever. You got your money. I'm just looking at the complexity of this, and this is a couple pieces of fabric and a piece of plastic in here, some stretchy fabric, a buckle, a hook, and stitching. 125 bucks. This one, that is a machine. It's not just a hook, it's a machine. And we have this plastic embedded into the stitching. We have rigidity all the way around on the belt, and we have a pretty robust clasp on to the belt itself. You can actually take this off and replace this. So we got a lot going on here, and this is half of this. What's up with that? I mean, if the maker of this belt would like to explain that, I'd be more than willing to listen. But when it comes to efficiency, price is part of efficiency. Solving a problem with the least amount of time and resources includes money. And if I've got a belt that I'm going to take a risk on, 125 bucks is a lot of money to spend on a risk. It's one of the reasons why I will never try a Filster Enigma holster, is because gambling $180 on a holster that might not work for me, it seems like a foolish thing to do. This holster right here, I got from Last Line of Defense. And this was an experiment in a way, but I'd had an opportunity to try out this holster from a family member. So I got an opportunity to see that this could work for me. There's a likelihood of success. So when I spent $100 and whatever dollars on this holster, I think it was $115, I have a much higher likelihood that this is going to solve my problem for me, and so that money is much more reasonable to spend. And knowing what I know about holsters, there's quite a bit of effort that goes into making these things. I'm not going to say the price is fully justified, but I think generally speaking, a high quality Kydex holster is very different from a low quality Kydex holster. So I'm not against spending money. I'm not against trying out things and spending money. But that seems like a lot of money for some fabric and a piece of plastic and a piece of metal. So, or two pieces of metal, I should say. So I'm going to be going back to the Nexbelt. I'm going to get a new one. I contacted Nexbelt to tell them, hey, your belt failed. And they're like, hey, sorry about that. It's only got a 1-year warranty, but here's a coupon code to replace it with a 15% discount. So I appreciate that from Nexbelt. They didn't have to do that. And I probably won't even use the coupon because I feel like a jerk using coupons sometimes. In fact, I was offered a coupon to get this holster for free, and I never actually did it. And so I paid full price for this, even though I could have got it for free. So I'm going to go back to the Nexbelt. I think it's all around the best belt that I've encountered, and this is not an ad for Nexbelt. If they want to send me a bunch of money for saying that, I wouldn't say no, but this is my money I'm spending to buy these things. I'm not getting paid to say this stuff. I just think, generally speaking, this is an outstanding solution, and generally speaking, this is an overpriced solution. It's not bad. This is not a bad belt. If you buy this belt and no other belt, you will use this belt and it will be okay. If you buy this belt and no other belt, it'll be awesome and it'll be half the price. So, all right. We've got a lot of concealed carry classes coming up in the month of August. Colorado laws are changing around concealed carry laws. I'm sorry, concealed carry training requirements. We are updating our classes to meet those requirements. I don't know if we're going to be able to continue those classes, but if we continue to have support like this, then I think we have a shot at being able to do that. So come out to one of our classes. If you've already been to our classes, come back. There's more to learn. There's always more to learn. And what are we learning about? We're learning about saving lives. So that's what makes it worth your time, effort, your donations, your energy. And we appreciate everybody who's come to our classes, but we appreciate you more if you donated. Whether you donated $1 or whether you donated $1,000, it's all important to us, and we appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments and let me know what you think. Argue. I'm not going to beg for subscriptions. I'm not going to beg for likes. I ask for comments because I want to talk. I want to be able to discuss this stuff with you. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let's get into it. Let's talk. All right. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.